Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Creative Chats, where we just kick it, hanging out with my friends. We have so many amazing people in my network, and I'm just happy to introduce you to them and super grateful to be connected with them. We're also like-minded in the fact that we are having a heart of service. So we're using what's in our purposes that God has given us to make a difference in our communities and in turn the world. So with me today, I'm so happy and grateful to share that I have a guest who's really special to me because we are friends. And when I say friends, it's an understatement for the closeness of our relationship. We're talking over 10 years. We're pushing 20 years soon in this friendship. And he is creative on so many levels, from just the nature in which he generates income and helps others to his craft of music and writing. His team is so strong in production and creation and engineering. So with me today, I have Mr. Jonathan Houston. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, so what are you working on?
Well, working on a few things. As you know, I just moved out here to Atlanta maybe about 3-4 months ago due to a promotion for my job. I also do Lyft for extra income as well. And as you know, and as you stated, I do music. So those things, it's trying to find a balance to where you can follow your dreams, but also you're able to still pay your bills and do what you have to do. But like I said, it's a balance. I have a passion for it. Music is definitely my passion. I would definitely consider myself different, but different isn't always bad. Different can definitely be good as well, depending on how you look at it. So those are the things that I've been working on, and just even trying to better myself, even spiritually, being able to be alone with my thoughts, devising a plan, and even writing out little things that I want to do to better myself. So those are just the things that I'm working on as far as right now.
Those are really amazing things to be working on, mainly because what I'm hearing is mind, body, spirit. And that's
Yes.
what makes oneness or a person whole and complete. So you're on the right path, and we should all be working toward those kind of strategic personal goals regularly, right? You never stop doing that in order to have that balance that you're creating for your new lifestyle. And you'll get to that balance, and something else will be needed to be created as well, so that you can elevate, and it'll just keep going as you grow and reach your goals. And speaking of, you are so talented. I absolutely love your music. I share with you that I love your music, but I don't think you really understand. Like, I think I'm a fan. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I might be a fan. I subscribe to you online. And when it pops up on my feed and stuff, I'm just like really proud of you. Everything is so well put together and branded and consistent. And your team is so strong and talented. How did you guys meet? How did you get the team that you have?
Well, first off, starts off with marketing. I did a mixtape maybe about a year or two ago, and did 9 songs, and just kind of wanted to see what people would kind of feel, because you get different feedback from everybody and things like that. So I said, well, let me put something out. As we're here today, I mean, they're not big, huge numbers and stuff like that, but I have like over 43,000 streams.
Wow.
I'm personally proud of that, just because this has like no major marketing behind it, no videos or anything. It's kind of just off strict talent and kind of little things that I can put out there for people to catch. There's a lot of different things you can do to market strategically, but one of the biggest things is making yourself seen, making yourself known, just being in the room or area. So what happened was, on Facebook, a lot of times, I think during the pandemic, a lot of people were finding different ways to make money and things like that. And you noticed there was a lot of podcasts coming around more, things like that, because you could do it from home. You didn't have to be around a lot of people. And anyways, I don't know how long it's been, but I guess it finally merged over to Facebook, to where now people were doing live shows, to where you could actually go in, send your music, and you can get other people in the live giving you feedback. I started off, I did an interview with a guy named Roy Booth, who gave me like an amazing interview. The scenery and all this stuff was amazing. Like it was rare. Like I hadn't seen anything like that. So he gave me an interview, allowed me to play some of my music, and he really did enjoy it. He liked it. And through that, I met other people and other connections. Again, you're on Facebook, people like your music, some people don't. And I ran into a guy named Jermaine Thurston, who he was kind of doing the same thing Roy Booth did. And I just ended up kind of just going into his shows repeatedly, you know, not knowing he was watching me, but I'm also watching him, just seeing how he moves, how he talks to people, what he has going on. And just through time of getting to know somebody, you know, as much as you possibly can from online, uh, we both got really comfortable with each other, and he laid out a proposition for me as far as asking me would I be interested in signing with his label, which is PTMG, Post Traumatic Music. And everything kind of just aligned itself to where, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense. He gave me a lot of tools and a lot of things that I need as far as to be successful with my music, and things I would need to do to go further, um, where other people would charge you. And which I understand, everybody has to make money and you have to pay to invest yourself. But he just knew I wasn't really ready like that. But he also admired my talent and figured I could bring something to his label to where we can both make money and we could both be successful. And through that, he assigned a couple of other artists through his brother, Product Beats, to where their label is actually theirs. It's their LLC. They came together, made a group. And yeah, so right now I'm just on that journey, seeing where it goes. I'm loving it so far. Um, I give all praises to the man upstairs. I let him take it for where it's going to go as far as it is. All I have to do is do due diligence and make sure that I'm putting the work in.
Amen. I completely agree with that. And that's all God wants, right? It's just us to sprinkle him into what we're doing.
Yep.
He's like, hey, do
Absolutely.
you? I created you with free will, but don't forget
Yep.
me while you're
Yep.
doing you, you know? So
Absolutely.
I love that. You know, I was thinking while you were talking about that trip when I came to visit you for your birthday, and
Yeah.
my brothers had came too, right? And you
Yes.
were playing. Maybe that's the mixtape you're mentioning. Is that the
Yes.
mixtape you're mentioning?
Hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thought so. So you were playing that, right? And
Yeah.
I can't even lie, like it was lit. I remember I was like in the shower and I could hear it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"The heck is going on?" And then the
Yeah.
next song would roll in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"This is a problem. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just sitting on this. This is a problem." And then
Absolutely.
when I got ready and stuff, and I came out, my brothers were like, "Hey, yo, Nate, what's up with your man? Like, what's up? Like, are you listening?" I'm like, "Are y'all listening?" Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, I know as an artist, you know, myself included,
Yeah.
sometimes you really don't know what others are thinking of what you're creating until
Yeah.
somebody comes along and shares that with you. And
Yeah.
some people are having like these private conversations about your work and your art, but when they actually share it with you is when
Mhm.
you get a small window or an opportunity to actually realize and bask in the moment of, wow, I did create something great. And yes,
Absolutely.
you did, and you continue to. So I'm glad that your destiny helpers and everyone who's supposed to give you some sort of impartation towards your success has been coming into your life and aligning with you. That's a blessing.
I got to send you some new stuff too. And let me just say this for your audience too. Like, I don't want to call her middle name out, but I usually call her by her
You
middle name.
can, it's on here. That's my name.
Okay, well that's cool. Charlene, this girl is she's pretty spectacular. You know what I mean? Like I've known
Thank
her
you.
since college. I think maybe my sophomore year or junior year. And I mean, as you guys can see what she looks like, you know what I went for. So you know what I so you know everything. You know, you can either let that make you or break you, but we definitely had a very strong bond to where I'm very close with her mother and her brother. Like I consider that like one of my brothers as well. And her father, stepfather as well, to where they're just good people, y'all. They have a lot of insight. They're all doing things that can be beneficial not only to them but the world. She has a beautiful daughter, Emmy, and like I said, you can see that Janae is not just gorgeous. She has a very radiant smile, and I tell her sometimes I don't think she understands or knows how pretty she really is.
Oh,
But
thank
that's
you.
just because of the type of work that she does, the type of person that she is. She's not self-centered. She's not egotistical. She's very down to earth. She is a girl that you can approach and almost talk to about anything. And just
Oh,
through
I'm
the
gonna
time
cry.
through the time we've been able to keep a relationship, a friendship, to where even when we have tough discussions, it's not just lovey-dovey, or it's just, oh, I like you, or sweet. Sometimes we do have hard discussions and talks and things like that. And through the blessing of God, we've been able to maintain a friendship, being far and long distance away, and still been able to reach out and talk to each other. And it's not even like an everyday thing, but I worry about her and just want the best for her, business wise, spiritually wise, mentally wise, and everything. So this is a good person to be in connect with, guys.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. I felt like while I was singing your praises about your artistry, you just gave that back to me from a caring
Absolutely.
standpoint. I
Absolutely.
really
Because I don't think a
appreciate
lot of
that.
people know necessarily what you do. I mean, you see her, she has her pageants that she does. She has multiple businesses. She's starting off her daughter early. Like there's just a long list of things that this woman does to where it's pretty spectacular. And anybody that ends up with her will be more than lucky. So I just wanted to give you your flowers as well.
Wow, thank you. They're my favorite color and they smell amazing just in
Yeah.
time for my birthday. So
So do
I
you. Yeah, I know.
appreciate that.
18th. We know it. Well, I know it. The 18th. Yeah.
Thank you
February
so
18th, y'all, 4 days after Valentine's Day.
much.
She used
Yes,
to
she's giving
put
all the
pineapples on
flowers.
her pizza. Her favorite pizza, I don't know if it is, it used to be pineapples and ham. Like, you want some pizza? Like, yeah, let me get a pepperoni. She's like, I want some pineapples and ham. Well, let's get you your separate pizza.
That's hilarious
Yes.
memory. No,
Yeah.
you were always like, so you are one of those men that I'm fortunate enough to know so that I always had, I've been through some really crazy things
Yes.
personally. And so just like knowing you has always given me that positive spirit
Yeah.
of, men are good,
There
because
are good men out there.
there's that sort of idealism that most of y'all are bad or
Mhm.
have malicious intentions and
Mhm.
yada yada yada, but you have been a consistent example of how that's not true. And I've been fortunate enough to have a strong group of male friends that
Absolutely.
are a consistent reminder that that is not true at all. So I always
Absolutely.
advocate for you guys when you're not around, and like
Yeah.
the whole man bashing thing, I'm not into it. And every
Yep.
time like it tries to come up around me, I'm like, something you're not doing, because I
Yep.
know a bunch of really good men. Like I'm talking
Exactly.
really, really good men, like husbands,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
I
same
think
thing
the
to
issue
you.
is the issue is we just I think we have to have, like you and me talk about, it starts with conversation, and it starts with being upfront in what you want, so you can allow the other person to make their own decision and not get caught up and make a decision to where they're left angry. um I don't want to go into all of it, but I just think there's just a misunderstanding between male and female, how we look and view things. Males are more visual, to where they can imagine what they see, to where again, you don't have to know anything about a female for you want to approach her or decide you want to deal with her. Women are a little bit different because we approach you guys. You guys are more intellectual, to where you're breaking down, you're saying, okay, what's his swag like, what's his confidence like, what's he like as a person, not maybe what is he wearing, what does he have going for him. So there's a list of things that women go through, whereas men, they're not really going through a list until they actually get with you. It was more so the attraction, and again, some of that is just biology, but again, without having to put blame on the male or female, just more conversations have to be front. A lot of the conversations that people don't want to have, they think like, oh well, we just started, or it's too early for all that. No, it's not too early for that. Let's get what we're looking for on the table, because it doesn't mean it's you, it doesn't mean you're for me, but I'm letting you know, and vice versa, what I'm looking for. It doesn't mean you have to rush. I just think a lot of people, everybody has options. Nobody wants just one thing. A lot of people like options. So a lot of times for people, in order to get rid of their options, they have to be 100% sure of what it is. So a lot of times you don't necessarily get the full truth. But one thing that will eliminate all that, if you just put your best foot forward and he puts his best foot forward, if it doesn't work, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. But if you have one person putting their best foot forward and the other one is kind of in and out, that's where it can lead to commotions and a bunch of hurt feelings and just a lot of disparity that doesn't need to be there. If both people put their best foot forward and it doesn't work out, there's no shame in walking away. It just wasn't for you. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's very true. And a lot of people, can know that,
Mm-hmm.
but in the experience of it can still feel like you're losing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And most people don't like to lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I would like to invite everyone to an alternative perspective of
Yes.
counter to loss
Mm-hmm.
and very
Yeah.
much about gain. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of having lost a relationship, you gained experiences
Mm-hmm.
that are going
Mm-hmm.
to enhance the
Mm-hmm.
relationship that is actually for you,
And just
because I relate to that. I felt that same thing before in breakups where you can feel like you lost it, but that wasn't it.
yeah.
In your heart that wasn't it. But it
Mm-hmm.
feels
Mm-hmm.
like you lost something because it's gone. But
Yep.
it's like, no, you just gained the experience
Yeah.
is necessary for your next level of what is it.
And just like you said, just because you lost something, it doesn't mean that there isn't something for you. Like if one door closed, don't just let that end all be all. Like there can be another door that's opening for you. But it's just some emotions and feelings. We all have them. Um, so like I said, just being able to manage those things properly. And like you said, don't look at losing something as you lost. You just lost something in that particular moment. It doesn't mean that there isn't more to gain.
Yeah, exactly. And even more so, like with energy, right? Because you know how energy
Mhm.
is not lost, it's just like
Yeah.
transformed or
Mhm.
is moved from one thing to another. It doesn't die. So
Yep.
the same thing with these relationships that aren't serving us or they're not for us any longer, because some are for a time. That
Yeah.
was for you just
Yeah.
for a time,
Yes,
right?
for a time.
So
Yeah.
instead of looking at it as a loss, it
Mhm.
was just transmuted
Mhm.
into the energy you needed
Mhm.
for the next experience, for your
Exactly.
next level. Because a lot of times these things are necessary. Like that first relationship, you met me right after my first relationship, and I was like
Mhm.
super traumatized, and
That was a
I was
very tough
really a
time.
whole different person than
Yeah.
I like. My friends were watching me transform energetically as a
Yeah.
response to that. And
Yes.
at the time, I was so hurt. But as I reflect, I'm hecka grateful for that
Yeah.
because I had only a couple of goals and they were like, they might be impressive to some people, but
Mhm.
to me, now receiving and having opened up to everything God had for me, all I
Mhm.
wanted to be was a wife, a mom, a doctor.
Mhm.
Okay. And we know I got this long resume of really cool
Mhm.
things that I've been able to achieve because that happened, because
Mhm.
of my response and what I did energetically with
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So
And the
it's
thing
all about
about that
perspective.
is, even at the time, I really didn't even understand what you were going on, which speaks volumes to you, to how you carried yourself, because you
Thank you.
you know who you are. So you probably saw yourself one way, but I didn't necessarily see you that way. I didn't have the full understanding of maybe what you were going through mentally and even somewhat physically. But again, that speaks volumes to you too, still how you chose to carry yourself. See, we all go through issues and problems. How you want to rank it or classify it, it's up to you. But we all have issues and problems, and we all handle things differently. But we have to remember that everybody is not but so different. Like you're different, but everybody is similar. We're more similar than you think. There's only but certain emotions you can feel. There isn't like a brand new emotion, but like, oh, well, I was. Da-da-da-da-da. No, there's only certain emotions and feelings that are out there that we can all have. It's just how you handle it and how you carry yourself. Goodness gracious, Charlene, you look good, girl. I gotta tell you, you looking good, man. She got
Thank
that
you.
blue on with the red lipstick, and then you got the yeah, you looking good, man. You looking good, looking good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, it's like I said, just it doesn't take a lot to just be a decent human being. You don't have to be a
Wow.
spectacular human being. You only have to be a great human being, but some people just need to work on just being a decent human being. If you're a
Wow.
decent human being, it will take you like a long way. And I was told you can get almost anywhere. Like it doesn't even like education is important, and there's a lot of things that you have to get certain places, but there's a lot of doors that will open for you if you are just polite and you are respectful. A lot of doors will open to you.
That's so true and positive, right? Because so
Yes.
many people go through so many things.
Hmm.
And like, let's be real. There's a person who has this very strong skill set, education, and network. There's a person who has the education, not as much of a strong network, but is very positive and great, happy to be around.
Yeah.
Who's going to get more opportunity? Who is
The
it? Is it
person
going
is
to be the person
positive.
with the education and the network, or the person who people like to be around because
Right.
they're positive, right?
Right.
So, I always try to have that attitude of people leaving me better than they came, even if it's to my own detriment sometimes, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah.
resilient. I've been through enough where I can bounce back after everything. And I
Yeah.
know not everybody can. So, even if it means like I take a hit, but you left better than you came, I take it because I know I'm
Yep.
be straight, But you,
Absolutely.
if I give you back what you gave, you might not be straight after that. So I
And
rather
it might
take the
leave
hit.
you messed up too, because you changed
Yeah.
and alter who you were, and who
Right.
knows what kind of hold that can hold on you. Like I told you, one thing that I've just been diving into more too is that there's a spiritual flesh and there's a natural flesh. A lot of things we don't realize that we're doing, it's of our natural flesh that we want. And that natural flesh is weak. It's going to tell you sometimes to do things that you shouldn't do. And just like you said with vibe and energy, like just how we have a natural flesh and everybody has a spiritual flesh, your spirit sometimes, sometimes people will be in a scenario. They might meet somebody or done something that they necessarily shouldn't done or whatever. And sometimes you just get like that feeling and you're just like, what is that? Like, if you're like, everybody's doing it, why do I feel like that? It's because your spirit is telling you like, yo, that's not necessarily for you. And a lot of times I think we have that. I just think sometimes it gets swept under the rug or ignored because we don't think like that. And the reason we don't think like that is, again, it's because we're natural. And there's not an issue with it, there's not a problem with it. But just as you said, it's very important for us to try to stay positive and try not to let negative outlooks deter you from who and what you are.
Wow, you are dropping those nuggets today. I hope everybody is catching them. So insightful because like what you said, it's like if somebody is coming into your life, even though you might want to do something back to
Yep.
them that they
Yeah.
did, that's going to leave you with, I like to call that feeling you're talking about a conviction. A conviction, because
Yeah.
it's not sitting right with you, because
Yeah.
that's not how you are. What you
Yep.
just experienced is that person, because it's energy, that person dropping off some of their negative energy on you. But remember, you don't have to catch it. Like when people drop their negative energy off, I'll be like, whoop. Like, okay, I let it fall. Baby. I'm like, I can't catch that. Don't touch me.
Yep.
And it doesn't sit right with you because we are human, like you said. If you do touch it, or if it falls in your lap and you take that on, you try that on, and you reciprocate with that part of them that isn't you, and it doesn't sit right with you, and you're like, well, they did that. Like everything you're saying, I relate to that, and it's okay. Well, what my cousin had this quote, she said, and I will always take it with me. What floats my boat might sink yours. If that's not right for me, don't make it right for you. And that's what I try to instill in my daughter. There are these foundations of morality that we all should learn, like the golden rule, do unto others, da da da. There are these strong foundations, but then there are these individual convictions that if it don't sit right with your spirit, I don't care who you learned it from, who you saw do it, who told you what, that's not what you should be doing. That is not right for you. That's why you feel sick to your stomach. You cannot rest. You are bothered by whatever it is, because God and the Holy Spirit are telling you, make that situation right. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yep.
And that's what good and bad is. I think good and bad is different for each person past those basic foundations.
Absolutely.
Inside the core of a person, it gets different, and it's based off of that intuitive feeling of spirit, of conviction. If it don't feel right for you, it's not.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right, man. I'm telling you, the closer you get to that camera, man, I wish I'd just pull you out that day. What you got on? Is that a dress, a blue dress?
It's a dress. It's a dress.
We gonna talk later, man. We gonna talk later. We gonna talk later. Y'all, Charlene,
we can stay on after the recording. I stopped the recording. We'll stay on.
make sure y'all check out her Facebook, y'all. She's doing a lot. She dances too, y'all. Man, check her out. Not too much though.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I've been sitting on. Just, me, I can be really shy. And I do well in like smaller groups and one-on-ones and stuff like that.
I like when that Cali swag come out. That's when I think that joint's fire. That little I like that.
That's
man.
But
you've always just been you've always just been, to me, like, you've always just been like a good, sincere person. Nobody's perfect, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't look for anybody to be perfect, but you, to me, you've always just been nice, sincere. And, you know, even some people can take that in a negative way. They can take that and form it into something else. But I just think you've always been a good person with a good heart. And I think that's very, very important. So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
So of you though, like, like attracts like, and
Yeah.
everything you say about me is true of you, and
Mm,
true of your mom and true of your family, so
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
really is.
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I've never been around another woman until your mother that gave me that, shook me to my core
Hmm.
with the spirit and anointing that is
Hmm.
on her, and
Hmm.
how articulate
Yeah.
she is about it all, and how
Yeah.
aware
Yeah.
she is, and then eloquent
Hmm.
about it all. I've never
Yeah.
had that experience. And really, to be honest with you, that's the only time still that I've
Yeah.
had that experience.
Yeah.
Something really special with her. I
Yeah.
can't even put it into
She
words, really.
that's my special lady, man. She I wouldn't say I'm a mama's boy, but I would say if something was wrong and I needed to go see her or do something at the drop of a hat, I would. To where I always make my own decisions, of course. But I also do listen to her for counsel, for, like that said, for that same reason you gave. But also, this woman, she never left my side. Like, I never woke up in the middle of the night, she was gone. I never woke up and there'd just be like random man walking around the house. Or did she ever just like go out, drink, or be like, hey, I'm going to the bar or whatever. I was always taken care of. And even when my grandmother got sick, she took on that role to where she basically stopped her life and put it on pause, to where, yeah, she might want to go out with the girls, have a night out, or do something where she can take a break. This woman for years she doesn't get a break, even to this point, still taking care of my grandmother, taking care of my uncle, now has his daughter. Like, the woman is, I mean, pretty much almost close to a saint. But at the same
She
time,
is.
me being her son, I talk to her and ask her certain things, because she's not gonna sugarcoat it. Even if I am her son, if I'm in the wrong, or she knows I don't need to be doing something I shouldn't be doing, she will tell me. She's not gonna
She
try
told
and
me
break.
that too, by the
She
way,
will
just so
tell
you know.
me. Yeah, she will tell me. So
She's like, if he's wrong, I'm gonna tell you he's wrong.
yeah, she doesn't give a shit. She's gonna tell me, because she knows, like I said, like, you need people in your corner to be able to tell you when you're messing up, or when they're like, yo, maybe you shouldn't do this. It doesn't mean you always have to listen, but sometimes just heeding a warning can help you avoid something more detrimental down the line. So even with my music, I don't send her everything, just because of the language, and I have her, but she understands what I'm doing. She supports my music. Even my grandmother, she listens sometimes. That's my granny, who I call her. They'll listen, and I like being able to send them stuff to be like, wow, I created this, something that they can listen to. So yeah, all that just kind of ties in with who I am, man. She did a great job with me, and the biggest thing that she instilled with me is having respect for people, knowing your boundaries, and just being polite, man. So you never know where somebody else came from or what they're dealing with. So sometimes a hi, or how are you doing, or just being the first to initiate some type of conversation, if it is just, like I said, hi, or you look nice, or you have a great day, or man, you look great today, or what you got going on, just anything. A compliment can change somebody's whole
Yeah,
world. And
you're a great man in that way. Like, she definitely did a great job with you. And you're also, like, a lot of women, say they want romance, but like, that's not a lot of men's love language. But you are also a very romantic person, and like
mhm.
very attentive and thoughtful. So like the influence, I can only imagine the influence that she's had on you in that way, just by having a brother myself, and
Yeah,
seeing how he can be romantic. He's not
yeah,
necessarily romantic,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
can be. And that came from like my mom's influence on him,
yeah.
and me too. Like, I would do
Mhm.
like little surprise gifts and different things, and so he's having those experiences. So I've seen him do that in some of his relationships. So
Yeah.
just like having had certain experiences with you, like I said, I
Mhm.
can only imagine how her um influence has impacted you in that
Yeah,
way, and then
yeah,
how you treat her as a result of that, as well. I remember she was feeling a little down, so you set up like a surprise visit with like her favorite family members, and just like that's sweet and romantic. Those are sweet romantic things, and wow, she did an amazing job. How has she had an influence on your affinity to music?
It's weird to say because again, like I used to write so long, like even in middle school. See, like people don't realize the amount of hours that I've spent. Like, yeah, I'm not famous, and a lot of people probably don't know me, but it's not something I'm just popping out of the woodwork to do. Like I've put in a lot of time just writing stuff I've never even used. Even now, I'll find notebooks that are freaking full just with raps and things like that that I've never used and touched. But I think like I said, because of the type of person that she was, somewhat spiritually, she doesn't have her nose up in the air. She listens to music and things like that. I was always kind of cautious just because I knew how I was expressing myself in my music. My music allowed me to kind of tap into a different energy to where I don't always have to be so politically correct. Music is a feeling that allows you to, I try not to go away from what I'm feeling and how I'm feeling. I try to write that to see how it comes out because it helps in a lot of ways. And a lot of times people will hide how they feel to try and appease somebody else. So with music, I didn't want to do that. And I don't do that. I watch what I say because I don't want to put certain things into the world that I think we already have enough of. And at the same time, I don't want to divvy too much off from the person that I am. I want the painting to match the canvas or the canvas to match the paintings, vice versa. So I think maybe, I don't know. I think when I got to Winston and met a guy named Kwafi who really started recording me, that's when I really started to share with her a little bit more about what I was doing. Because even so, I still have respect for my mother. There's certain things I don't want to be saying in front of her or me listening or her listening to me. She still has to respect that I'm grown and I can make decisions and conversations that I might have with the boys or your homies or your friends. Those are going to happen, but you want to make sure that like your mother is your mother. But
even I feel that way because you're so respectful, like with me and the language you use and how you choose your words and how you treat me. So like, well, I'm not gonna lie, I hear certain songs and I'm like, oh,
yeah, because it's real. It's real. Like it's real. Again, that goes back to men are very visual, so it doesn't take us long to feel something, especially if we want it. We can put ourselves there. Like we don't have to go through this step, this step, this step, this step, this step, this step, and say, okay, this can happen. We can see you and then just already say, all right, maybe we might want to do this or whatever. It just goes to the visuals. But like I said, once I got older and really started taking my music to a different level, I started sharing more with her and saying, okay, how does this sound? It might have a little bit of cursing in it, but how does this sound? And once I started getting her reactions and her reactions were okay, that I was like, oh, okay, she liking this. She sees, because she doesn't just always look at the words. She's listening to how I'm putting words together. And she knows her son. So she knows the story that I'm telling more so than other people. I'm different as far as like, I love bars. Like I love the bars. I probably should have been rapping in the 90s. But
you be crushing it too with the entendres, the metaphors, the bar, like the whole
that's my
artistry
thing.
of it.
I love entendres, metaphors, similes, because a lot of things that do, that's just how we talk. But even if somebody wasn't good at music, I would never try to down them because somebody who's never done music, ask them to write something or put something together. They can't do it. They absolutely can't do it. They might be able to sing a song. They might be able to hum with it. But as far as putting words to lyrics to music, that is something that is a special gift that everybody doesn't have. So again, I like the fact that she knows her son. She can kind of relate to the story more so to where some people might be like, that's not necessarily for me, or they might not get it. But best believe I'm telling a message in my music. And if you listen, it's very simplistic and you'll get it. The only thing is I don't have those 10 million people behind me or 100 million people behind me, which is fine. But
yet it is coming.
There
you
go.
are on that level.
Put so much time and effort in, I forgot I did. Don't fuck so many times, surprised I ain't got a kid. Damn. Wishful thinking, maybe it'll happen one day. It's my way or the highway, this a one way. Hire chick a model, she never been on a runway. Fuck a chick on Monday, funny thing we started Sunday, man. Yo, that's just a little humor with a little bit of truth aside. Keep up, you can do it, yeah. Take it easy, man, I'm thinking that you should relax. Control what you can control or you might just collapse. I bought a car when I got tired of riding the back. It didn't suit me anymore, and that was just that. I used to live across the street right from my high school. Sarah used to ride them horses and me too. After hours at the school, now it's night school. No teachers, but I was learning the night rules. The do's and the don'ts and the shit you can't come back from. On how to get in and out of a conundrum. Keep your shoes tied, don't let these niggas see you tripping. I like you, you like me, don't let me see you sipping. You never did a somersault, so how your money flipping? Dot your I's, cross your T's, but please just don't cross my line. They hit my line whenever it is, they need a favor. Don't hit my line unless it's money, I only talk the paper.
And brown baby.
I got so nice that when I write, I swear the pen push back. Man, I've always been on point, I'm like a thumb in attack. And if I hit it from the back, take my thumb in attack. Continue to put that D on her like the Utah Jazz. See the red light on, but it don't mean record. I've had some conversations with niggas you couldn't record. Remember when my nigga used to drive the Honda Accord? You swear he was broke for buying shit you couldn't afford. That's crazy. That just taught me don't judge a book by its cover. I can spit in the booth, the street get hot like an oven. If I take a chick to Mickey D's, get lucky and fuck her. It's only right I show her love, shit just call me McLovin. I do not give a damn what y'all want from me. I got tired of asking myself what y'all want from me. I kept my head down, played it smart and got my degree. I grew up big, 6'3", size 14.
Oh my God, it's Houston.
Yeah. Just call me Dice or Butter, why? Because nigga, I'm on the road. You cannot reach me, my phone is right there, nigga, I'm on the road. Tired of hiding my talent, so let me go put on a show. You got locked up, now you out, man, it's fishy, you probably told. Been on this journey so long to the point that I traveled so far that there's no going back. Hang with some pirates around the Caribbean, funny thing is one of their name is Jack Sparrow, Ty Lahero. Just like Miami, you know that I'm bringing the heat. I get so hot to the point where I'm standing, sometimes I gotta sit and get off my feet. If you hear my songs, then just hit repeat. She wanna suck me off, then get on your knees. I ain't above having to just say please. I am a blessing, I'm just like a sneeze. I keep it real like 24 carats. Love me some money like 24/7. That pussy open like 7-Eleven. Jessica Biel, now that's heaven. Woo! Just call me Dice or Butter, why? Because nigga, I'm on the road. You cannot reach me, my phone is right there, nigga, I'm on the road. Tired of hiding my talent, so let me go put on a show. You got locked up, now you out, man, it's fishy, you probably told. Back on my feet, feeling better than ever. Cold as December, hot like Mayweather. I am so clever, down for whatever. Finding a balance between heart and soul. Dealing with shit that you just don't condone. Just one solution, leave me alone. You cannot reach me, I've been in the strip club, I throwing my ones and I just lost my phone. Coffee like, man, where have you been at? Been in the streets and I've been running wild. Riding around Winston, getting my dick sucked. More than a mother breastfeeding a child. He was like, man, you need to slow down or you end up somewhere and you cannot.
You have everything any of them have. You have that.
Oh, I believe that, definitely. All it is now is just putting myself in position to get it. And again, that goes back to PTMG, my label. They understand that we're all working and they're still building too. Like, they're not like some high price label that has these millions and millions of dollars. No, their whole goal is to help the independent artists. You might move on from them, but they want to help you. These guys, they want to help you. They want to put you in the right position. And nobody has ever asked me to do anything that I was uncomfortable with, that I don't want to do. And I understand investing in myself. And also I love what they have built. So I want it to become part of me as well. So if that means I have to put extra into it, whether it's time or whatever type of investments that I may have, I'm willing to do it because I believe in what they're doing. I believe in their heart of what they're trying to do. So yeah, that's just put me on the path that I am now, just working to stay consistent, because that's the thing. I'm even writing music now. I got to send you some new stuff too, but I'm writing music now. Yeah, I'm writing stuff now to where now we're working on singles, gonna drop our albums, cover arts and things like that. So yeah,
you've also been crushing it with the cover art too. Like,
Yeah.
Wow, it looks
Yeah, the
fun.
cover art. And that's what you said. And it was funny because you said when you heard the music, you were like, man, we got a problem. So that's what the cover art is. It's Houston, we have a problem. Me
Exactly, which
blasting
is
all
so
of us.
cool.
Yeah,
The play
yeah,
on words,
yeah,
like I said, I just love it. I'm officially a fan.
yeah. I
I
love
just
it.
want to be leading lady when you start dropping the videos. I'm telling you, for a whole mixtape period. Like, I just want to tell the story. I don't care what we're gonna work it out, but this you need to promise. We're on camera right now. What do you say?
Yeah, I absolutely say yeah. It's hard to say no to y'all. I can't tell y'all everything.
Thank
It's
you.
like so yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, we need to work on I can get us like a beat or two and just see what kind of our connection would be on it, which I know it'll be great. But like I said, I can handle that as far as getting us a beat or two, something that we can work on together, and I know we will crush it. And like I said, my
I
guys,
can't wait.
they do videos, they send the music, and they're getting me right as far as now I have my BMI, I'm about to get my copyright, all those things. If you probably see me on, I've been taking more pictures and stuff like that. I'm not a big like, hey, look at me, I'm like, but
No, but you are pushing yourself in that way to
yeah,
grow and have
yeah,
more of an online presence. I've noticed, and I'm in full support of
yeah,
this version of you for your work as best as I can. But you touched on a couple of things about us working together, right? So,
yeah,
for the sake of old ties, why don't
yeah.
you just let everyone know how you knew I could do this? I want to do this. What happened? Let's hear the story.
What are you talking about? You talking about with me and
Do you remember like when you would come visit when I was my girlfriend's? I'm gonna leave names out of it.
me? But I do remember you guys being around and doing music and being able to freestyle, and I was very impressed. And at that time, I don't even think I was into music that heavy. I
This
was
is
more
what
so,
happened. This is what I'm
yeah,
trying to get you to talk about. That you
hmm,
weren't. You were
yeah,
inspired by us and what we were doing. And then
hmm,
you called me, I remember like a little bit after graduation, and
hmm,
you were like, hey, remember how you and your girls were just like freestyling for fun? And like,
yeah,
remember how much like I liked it? Like
yeah,
that made me want to do music. Like I'm doing
yeah,
music now. And I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, really?
Yeah.
So
And
cool.
I do remember that because the thing, and I didn't correlate that because like I said, I've always written and did music. So I didn't, but and I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't even remember that until you just said it and it recollected in my head that yeah, that's powerful to me because again, like I said, I was once I got out of high school, I went to college and I was just into football. You got practice, you got games, you got school. I mean, we were having practice like 4 in the morning. So again, music had kind of took a back seat. But yeah, that's crazy that you said because now it's all coming back to me. And like I do remember that conversation. And honestly, who knows? I could have been just trying to like impress you at the time, but look where it led to because it was
Exactly.
genuine.
Exactly. And yeah, and it really reminded you still loved music and that you could still create
Hmm,
despite having a passion for football, you could
hmm,
still make music. And, just like being able to have been a part of that, even like you said, like for me and my story with music has like translated differently or whatever, but to just have had some sort of inspiration and influence on you, and you are a phenomenal artist. I'm like, that's amazing. Because, like you said before, when we were just having a conversation about leaving people better than they came into our lives, you
hmm,
never know. Like, you just being
hmm.
positive in the midst of everything I was going through then,
That's
just
right.
being positive, happy, creative person, translating into reminding somebody else about their own creative talent. And that has,
That's right.
jogged you into, jolted you even
Yep.
into a reality where you're not denying that part of yourself anymore. And you probably never
Absolutely.
will again.
No, I won't. And like I said, even doing that stuff, Jay, it can be like not scary, but you can kind of just be like, should I do this? Or what does people think? You have to get that. I don't want to curse in your life, but you have to get that effort attitude in your mind. And what that means is it's not to disrespect anybody. It's more so a mindset to where you have to understand you could be the best. Everybody's not going to like what you do. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's going to have an opinion. And this is the thing that kind of bothers me. People put a lot of information out publicly. They put a lot of things out publicly and then they get upset when they get reactions publicly. You
Mm.
can't do that. When you put public information out there, you put yourself out there publicly. You're also putting yourself out there for criticism, critiques. It doesn't matter if somebody likes you or not. It's out there publicly. So when something's out there publicly, you are allowed to comment and mention on it. Should you be rude or disrespectful and try to just put somebody down? No, we all understand that. Like, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or try to discourage anybody's goal or anything, but I understand what comes from putting yourself out there publicly. There will be scrutiny. And if your mindset isn't strong, it will deter you. Like, you'll be like, all right, I don't want to do it no more. Or somebody could say something that can make you double think, like, oh, should I do this? Even earlier before, when I started doing music, like, I never really had like any bad like reviews or somebody. Like, all my homies or people that I knew, they were people I've known that would not be afraid to say, yo, this sucks, this isn't good. I've always gotten good feedback. Then when I started putting my music out slowly, you realize everybody ain't gonna like you. So then you sit with yourself and you're like, damn, is this what I need to be doing? They don't like me or whatever. But no, you have to get that effort mentality, because that's what's gonna make you stronger.
And some people are just hating too. Like, they think that if they don't support you, it's going to stop what you're doing. I've experienced that myself.
Yeah,
like, just
absolutely.
in being a creator or being like an influencer or whatever online. Like, you can see people that were so quick to support something before,
Yeah.
and then when you're elevating the quality or the connections of how you're doing it, it be like they don't do it no more. But then them numbers still be there eventually. You still got to your 43K with or without that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it don't stop the lights.
Oh no, it's not gonna stop.
Lights are made to shine, so it's gonna shine regardless.
Yes, like that hair is doing. That junk shining, girl. That junk. They got that beauty and bounce in that junk. Yeah.
You like it? I'm gonna keep it there.
You know what I'm saying?
A good woman is a helper, right? So I'm just glad that I was able to, help bring that back to you, because I believe this is a big part of what God has planned for you. You're just way too good at it for it not to be.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. It's I appreciate that too, because again, just recollecting all that, who knows, maybe you were was to snap me back into it. Because again, like when I think about college, like I wasn't writing. I didn't have time for it. So yeah, that's deep too, because like I say, it just kind of refreshed everything. So I appreciate it. You've done a lot. Besides, you were very special. You were very special to me, and still are. So I don't want to say it like that, but you just know we were on a different wavelength. And I just think our wavelength, it might be different, but it's stronger.
Exactly. It's unbreakable.
Yeah. Absolutely. Until you get married, because they might not feel the same way.
To be honest with you, I like to think that my husband would be somebody very secure in himself, who would appreciate the people around me who have supported me and loved me up until him coming into my life in that secure capacity.
Absolutely.
And therefore would not be like, hey, thanks to everybody that played a role in making sure she made it to me in one whole beautiful piece.
Bye-bye.
Deuces, F out of here. Like, I would like to think the character of my husband would not be like that, but instead would have a more spiritually well-rounded perspective and love for everyone who loves me and that I love, in respectful ways. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And I will say that
to
say this because, like I said, you're very much a different type of woman. But we as men, we understand, like, when you go out, how you see yourself is not how men see you. More often than not, a lot of men will put themselves into your life, and not necessarily your life, but a lot of women lives, and wait for the opportunity to possibly expand on that. Does that always the case? No, because a lot of times guys might do that, and they will have other chicks on the side that can keep their mind stable until it's like, okay, maybe she's ready. Men do that a lot. And the thing is, we understand that as hunters, and you as females being pursued, we understand that, yeah, he might trust you and say, yeah, go out with your friends. Like, that's fine. Go out. If you have a homeboy, you got doing a group event, like, go on, that's fine. Like, that shows that he has trust in you. But what he also knows is men have another side. Just like a woman, you might be out, we might be out, you might have something a little scandalous on. He might have said, hey, you might not really want to wear that. And she was like, well, I can wear what I want. I'm a woman. It's like, okay, well, let's do it. I can't stop what another man might do or think about you. So now we're out. That man decides to smack your butt, whatever the case may be. Now I have to change into a different person to either protect or defend you. But if you just didn't put that on, we wouldn't be in that situation. It's not a fact of me telling you what to wear. It's not a fact of you not making your own decisions. You might have just wanted to look sexy for me, or you might have wanted to just be sexy. Like nothing is wrong with that. But we live in reality, and we live in a society to where you have people who don't give a damn or respect people in that nature. They're willing to cross that line just for that momentary satisfaction. And that's what we have to understand. The world is a big place. And there's a lot of things that are happening into this world to where I think sometimes we unfortunately get a glimpse of more negative than positive, because like we were inciting positive. We need more positive people. We need more upheld people. But unfortunately, as of right now, reality to what we see, it's just like if I go to a neighborhood with a chain on, all this money, and I'm in a neighborhood that I shouldn't, and I get robbed. Yes, it's unfortunate. I got robbed. Should I have been robbed? No. But the reality is, I went to a place I know I should have been there. I knew it was a rough place. I knew what could possibly happen, but yet I still chose to wear all that jewelry, blinged out, have the money and all that stuff. So we have to take responsibility and accountability for things that may happen. I know as a man who pursued you once, and even a person who gets you as your husband, they're not going to want to share you with the world. Yes, you can go do what you want, but they're not going to want to share you. Why? Because of the possible dangers out there, the things that can happen when you look a certain way. If you understand that a man will hit on you in a head tie and sweatpants, what do you think will happen if you're wearing really tight stuff, cleavage is all out? Like, anything can happen. We've seen it. We can't be surprised anymore. We can't just say, oh man, we need good people. We want good people. That's all fine and dandy. We can say that all we want, and we can put ourselves in position and try to make that happen. But once you step out these doors, it's a dangerous place out there. And some people don't have the mind or recollection to say, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. You see people with road rage. You see people who beat up old people. Like, we know these things are wrong. They shouldn't happen, but it's reality. And when a man has his queen or somebody that he really loves, cherishes, he doesn't want anything to happen to her. And he doesn't want to take a chance of a man saying, you know what? Let me try Jay today and see what happens. Because now you're in a situation that guy put you in. And and your husband had nothing to do with it. Now he has to figure out what really happened. It's not a matter of trusting you, but now he has to look at every other guy. So it's more so a precaution. Again, I already know you don't see yourself how a lot of guys see you. It's just because of your heart and how you carry yourself. But you're still effing gorgeous. Men would do anything to get with you. And we had this conversation. They will form into something to appease you, even if it is a lie, just to have a moment with you. Just to have a moment. Even if they feel it's real, it ain't even real. They're going to wait for a night for you to say, you know what? We broke up. You want to come over and have a drink with me? Boom. I'll be right there. Boom. I'll be right there. So me personally, how I feel, I try to I don't think a lot of females should have a lot of male friends, and I don't think a lot of males should have a lot of female friends, because vice versa, when I get married, I can't talk to my female friends the same way or how often I would once I get married, because you as a females, like, the first thing will be like, who is that B word, or who you talking to, or anything. It just becomes complicated. It's weird. So I just feel like if there are friendships, I think they should be mutual friends that y'all both consider friends, or just things like that. But a lot of that stuff, I think just it kind of goes out the window because biology takes over at times. Is it
I learned so much
everybody?
from you when we have these talks. I really do.
Yeah, because it's not telling a woman you can't do what you want. You can absolutely do whatever you want. Feel free. You see how Instagram and Facebook look now. Before, you'd want to cover your panty line. Now you got your thongs out and everything. And it's cool to look at. Like, it's cool. And it might even trigger you to go, you know what? I want that. I'm attracted to that. But then when it comes down to the relationship, I don't want no woman that has everything everybody else can see. Because then what am I getting? Yeah, I get to touch you, but just these men are fantasizing about you. A man will fantasize about you just from a picture. So if you and me are out and you're wearing something scandalous, and I was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't wear that, then a guy comes and grabs your ass and I don't do anything about it, you looking at me like, well, how is he supposed to be my man if he ain't going to protect me? Well, how are you supposed to be my woman if you're not going to heed to my warning?
Yeah. So speaking to that, right? That I
Hmm.
think that starts at home, right? And
Yes.
even submission, like,
Yes.
because I think that plays a role here too. A lot of
Yes.
women, especially like beautiful women,
Hmm.
being sexy feels good,
Hmm.
and being confident, and portraying that, especially in the world of modeling through fashion, is kind of
Hmm.
what models do. And
Hmm.
so just being in that world when I was a little girl, I
Yeah.
remember when I say little, I'm a teenager. I remember
Yeah.
when I first started to get some self-confidence in my appearance.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, maybe I will try to wear this or wear that. And one day, right, I was about to go out to school, and
Mhm.
my father was giving me a ride there. And when I got in the car, he was like, in that location. We were halfway to, we were more than, we were like 75% to the location. He sat on this for a while, is what I'm saying. And then
Yeah.
he's like, you comfortable wearing that? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it was
Yep.
it was a little, it was a mini skirt. Okay, it
Yeah.
was a
I
mini
already
skirt.
knew you had a skirt on. You had them legs out, girl. I
It
already
was a
knew.
mini skirt, and it was the first one I ever owned, and I had never
Hmm.
had the confidence to wear it. The
Hmm.
one time I tried to wear it, right, he's taking me to school. He's like, "You sure you want to wear that? Like, do you?" I
Hmm.
said, and look, without any question or argument, I said, "Do you want me to change?" And he
Hmm.
was like, "That would make me feel more comfortable." I was like, "Okay." So he turned around and I changed. So
Yeah.
I've only been in one relationship where that happened, right?
Hmm.
And I was about to go somewhere, I don't know, I forget where, for an event. And I was just excited. And so I like FaceTime, was like, "Look, I just want to wear it to the event." He's like, you sure you want to wear that? I'm like, well, like, my stylist picked this out, like,
Yeah.
it's approved for my team, and da, da, da.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm in a relationship with you. Like, I'm telling you, I'm kind of a little uncomfortable if you were to wear that. I was like, well, fine, I won't wear it. And like, again, so I say that I believe that starts at home, like where
Yeah.
you will not combat
Absolutely.
your man. You will not
Absolutely.
combat your man, whether you understand his
Mhm.
logic or not. If he's,
Yep.
because if you know he's for you, you got to know that what he's saying is to protect you as
Hmm.
well, or to protect y'all, what y'all have, or his
Yep.
confidence, or whatever's going on. You
Yep.
don't have to understand it, is what I'm saying. If you're a submissive woman and he's uncomfortable with that, you're gonna go ahead and do whatever makes him comfortable.
Mhm.
And so,
Yep.
I appreciate this conversation because it brings more insight onto
Yeah.
what's happening in those
Yeah.
moments. But me, as a woman who has no problem with submission, I just be like, I'll
Absolutely.
change it, ain't that big of a deal, but I
And because
also do like being sexy too. So
yeah, because the type of person you are, again, you don't sexualize yourself. I think there's a difference between being a model and doing something that's a part of the job, and fashion. I think that's very different. But again, you don't sexualize yourself. So you're one of those people who have an open heart to where if things, if it's a positive vibe and everything's are fine, you have no problem with hanging out with a guy without expecting or trying to do anything extra. You can sit there and have a conversation with a man and it'd be just fine. Um, but a lot of times in that, the hindsight can get missed to where, well, what are his real intentions? Because as a man, when you date a woman, you're expected to be somewhat of a gentleman to where you open the door, you might get her flowers, you pay for the food, you do all these things that even a husband would be expected to do. But as far as for a woman, if we're going out, we're just friends. The guy is probably still going to pay. He's probably still going to open the door for you. He's probably still going to give you compliments. He's probably still going to be sweet for you. So there's really no difference in between how a man treats you as a friend or if he's in a relationship to where it can get kind of scary and possibly cross the lines. I don't think there's no men that can be just strictly a friend with a female. Again, you and me are friends. But I tell you all the time, I find you very attractive. But because of our relationship, I know how to conduct myself as well as even as a man, I know how to conduct myself.
And we're both very respectful when we've been friends a very long time. So we've been in
Mhm.
a few relationships,
Relationship. Yep.
through this friendship. And
Yep.
we are very respectful when that happens. There's a space we create for each other when
Yep.
that happens. And
Yep.
fortunately, unfortunately, whatever it is, our friendship tends to last longer than these relationships.
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
not
For
the
whatever reason.
reason that they don't last, but I do have those friendships, or I say I do, but I don't anymore. I cut them off because I am in preparation for my husband. I'm very intentional about this season of marriage for myself, right?
Mhm.
So I did have these friendships
Mhm.
where, they would straight up tell me, like, when I would get in relationships, they were like, look, I hope it don't work with you when I do, because like I still want you and da da da. And
Yep.
so, like, I can't even lie to you. Like, how I am in my relationships. You got to be my best friend. Like, I got
Yep.
to be able to talk to you about everything.
Yep.
If I feel like I have to hide something from you, this not gonna go
It ain't
well.
gonna work.
Listen,
And that's
it's not
great
gonna go
advice.
well.
That's great advice, because you people have been in situations, I know, because I have, to where you want to say something, but you kind of just let it slide or let it linger, or you don't necessarily like you have to be willing to share any and everything for it to flourish properly. And not just that, listen to what I'm saying, flourish properly. For it to be able to flourish properly, no man wants his woman with all her goodies out. Again, I'm not complaining. Like, I'm a man. I know I like to look at those things, but then sometimes I take a step back and look through a different lens. I'm like, damn, what if she was my girlfriend? Her ass is out, her butt cheeks is out, her breasts are out. You can see her panties, you can see her thongs. Like, all of that is cool. But see, those same women will get online and complain and say men are sexualizing them, to where if you look up sexualizing, right? No man can sexualize you unless you've already sexualized yourself. So again, if you understand that a man could either can hit on you or will talk to you in a head tie and sweatpants, what is the point of having all of those pictures out for the whole world to see? Why? Because you're capitalizing on men wanting to be sexual. You know those will bring eyes. If you go out into the world and dress like a whore, you might not be a whore, but you have to expect and take accountability for if somebody starts to treat you like one. If you go out in the world dressed up as a doctor, you could still have that same experience where somebody might treat you like that, but we're just talking about the odds. If you go out and dress like a doctor, more so people are going to treat you like a doctor. They're not going to think you're a cop or a firefighter. You're like, oh, she's a doctor. So we have to take accountability for what we're putting out there. You cannot have your butt and ass and all this stuff out, and then when somebody compliments on it or says something about it, you're upset. It doesn't work like that. You cannot have it both ways. If you put yourself out there like that, you're going to have thoughts. You're going to have people who hit on you. You're going to have people who will then sexualize you, but you cannot control that once you have put that out there. And a lot of guys aren't going to want that. You might be getting approached every day because you do that, but yet you don't know why you're single. It's because a guy will form himself and say, oh yeah, I like that. That's cool. Hell yeah, I want that. All for the possibility of having sex with you. That's what it is. All for the possibility. And again, I'm not saying women shouldn't wear what they want. Women can wear whatever the hell they
You're
want.
just saying it comes with what it comes with. So if what you want to be is looking like a doctor, that comes with that. If you want to be looking like a whore, it comes with that. If you want to be looking, I got you.
I talk to my sister all the time. Like, she took a picture. I'd be messing with her. My sister's built like thick. Her name's Tatiana, is my half sister. She took a picture the other day, and I told her, I said, yo, this is such a pretty ass picture. I said, you don't have to be sexy to be sexy. I've seen women take some sexy pictures and there was nothing sexual about it. So again, it's all choice. Everybody can do what they want, but we can't.
I love that you're teaching her that, because it's so true. And like, as someone, in my third decade, I'm like, I just got a phone call recently from another college friend, and he's in real estate, and so we were talking real estate and stuff, and he's like, I just want to let you know, I see what you're doing online, and he was like, and you're giving sexy without doing nothing, and he was like, and then the way you are with God, and he was like, this is how modeling should look. And so I'm sharing this right now to speak to your point about what women think they have to do for attention,
exactly.
And then to your point also about what the man is thinking when he's seeing these things. And so that really just warmed my spirit, because I'm like, cool, I'm giving off who I am,
Yes.
This is coming, it's translating exactly as how it's true for me. You know what I mean? So I'm really
look at your
grateful
post.
for teaching her that.
I look at your post. I could never see me saying like, damn, I want to get in between them legs, girl. You like the hell, like you're not giving that.
That's how we're giving off. Yes.
You're giving yourself as a woman. You have your legs out, but you're in a pageant. You're modeling. You're not being overly scandalous. You're doing things that a
Even the
model
dance
would do.
thing, right? I'm in a workout outfit. There's nothing seductive about my outfit. It's 2 little moves. Ain't nothing like I'm intentional about that because I'm being a role model also.
Yep.
So I wanted to change the trajectory of what is going on in social media and in the minds of these women who are being hypersexualized, whether they know it or not.
Yep. And you're in a dance studio. Like nobody, like you're in a
And then
dance
that,
studio.
right? I was literally.
That's like somebody looking at a ballerina and say, "Girl, I'm trying to get between." Like, bro, her
Look at her
job
in
is
that
to
short
stretch
tutu.
and wear that stuff.
Short.
Like, So we just have to find the line because again, like if you tell women that, they thinking like, oh, well, I can't wear what I want. No, we're just saying when you do stuff like that, we understand as men how we think. We're just trying to give you an insight to where other men are thinking, how they might come across the situation. Because I've been in situations to where I can change myself, good or bad, to necessarily fit in with a woman that I might try to get with. Like I've been there, I've done that. It's amazing how you can flip a switch and you can become whatever she wants you to be just for that moment. But again, it doesn't really ever flourish because again, you don't have that safe space of communication.
It wasn't genuine.
It wasn't genuine. So, and again, that's the world we live in. Like it's biology. I have an X and Y chromosome. You have XX. That makes us different off default. Can we have similarities? Absolutely. But what you and as a female want in a relationship is not necessarily what I want in a relationship. It's not a bad thing, but it's just trying to find those right moves so you guys can dance together. You said the word perfectly, submission. People think submission is like, oh, well, I got you on a leash. If I tell you to jump, you should jump. No, it's nothing like that. If a woman fully falls in full submission, that's because she respects that man and she really wants to be with him. Cooking and cleaning does not mean that's what you do for me all damn day. If that's what
that's not submission. Yeah.
if we have that worked out to where you want to cook and you clean for me, that's cool because I'm gonna cook and clean too. But at the same time, we have to make sure that they say happy wife, happy life. I would say the happier you make your man, the happier you will be. And when that happens, if he's not doing what he's supposed to, then you leave. Why? And that's goes to put your best foot forward. Men are somewhat complicated creatures. We have to feel because we don't think always on emotion. We think more so logically. So a lot of times we know if there might be something bothering us. If we've been dating you for 2-3 weeks and you've just been giving us little attitudes because I say, hey, what kind of pizza do you want? Or hey, where you going? And you're giving me attitude just off the rip. We don't necessarily attack just right then and there. We just let it go. We let it be. But what we're doing is we're logically thinking like, damn, if I asked her just like pizza or what her favorite color is and she got an attitude, I already know I can't divulge to her everything that I feel or at the time or what I might think because it's going to lead to an attitude, which leads to a lot of time where, the term women get ghosted. They don't understand why. The problem is because during that time in the relationship, you were already showing him something that he really didn't like. But because he was dating you, you guys were sexually involved and all this thing, you're not thinking like that. You're like, oh yeah, I'm the prize. He got me, yada, yada, yada. But in 2-3 weeks later, he ghosts you and you don't know why. And that's what I'm saying. We can form to water, or if you're not approachable or I can't have a conversation with you about something, that's a major turnoff. We already gone. Might give you 2 more weeks and we out. Your sexual market is not the same as your dating market. Who can you retain? What woman? Think about it. A man can have sex with a woman here, with a woman here, a woman here, a woman here, never be in a relationship. He will be fine. He will feel fulfilled. He will be fine. What woman wants to just keep getting with a man, sleep with him, get with a man, sleep with him, get with a man, sleep with him, get a man, sleep with him, and nothing evolves into a meaningful relationship? Ain't no woman gonna tell, oh, well, I'm okay with that. Ain't no way. I've seen, you could talk about sexual preferences or even you can talk about sex in front of women. I notice certain things they do. They might freeze up a little bit, or if they have a skirt, they might like just put their skirt to the side or just in a way they touch themselves because you're not supposed to be promiscuous and doing all that stuff. That's why you have these little movements, because when somebody says sex and triggered you, you're always like, well, ain't nobody getting my goodies or ain't nobody. But the opposite is chivalry's not dead. Being a gentleman is not dead. But if you have more women saying, I want to be like men, and just saying, well, I'm going to sleep with who I want to without anybody telling me anything, without anything like that, then guess what? I don't have to give you the roses. I don't have to take you on a date. I don't have to be romantic and all that stuff. Why? Because you want to be just as promiscuous as men. It's easy. So
That's
chivalry's not dead.
disgusting, I think. I think that's disgusting.
You don't have to. I think it's a different word, but we're on the same page. We're on the same page. Like, but again, that's the day and time that we live in now. And again, it goes all back to what you and me said: having conversations, understanding each other. Don't let me what I'm telling you and say, oh, well, it's too early to have those conversations.
You know
No, it's
what
not.
though? Can I sprinkle a little bit of sauce from the
Please.
woman's perspective and
Yeah.
as a good woman, by the
Yeah.
Bible standards and by,
Yes.
your compliments and knowing me and stuff. So there's a scripture that says, who can find a virtuous woman? It's in Proverbs 31, right? So who can find the virtuous woman, that she's more precious than rubies. So basically, there is no amount of anything that can acquire a virtuous woman because of her standards, morality, essence, and relationship with God. There is nothing you can have or give her that is comparable to her worth, right? So for men to, just kind of like deposit themselves, if you will, inside of this one, that one, but want to have and marry and solidify a life with a virtuous woman, you got to know she can see those things in him.
Yeah.
She can detect she's gifted and she's not normal. She's rare. She's virtuous. And so she's she's not attracted to that. That's not going to make her feel secure when he comes into her life. She can already sense these experiences and these soul ties or whatever that, sometimes some of us, we can overlook it, especially in the beginning, because we know, like, we just got here and there's a very obvious, culture, like you said, where the man is like able to be fulfilled by just kind of like frivolously doing whatever. But again, if what he's wanting is this kind of a woman, you should not be that kind of a man, because you don't know when she's going to come in, and when she do, we can sense and feel all of that. And we're just like he's not attracted to, and we'll put in a 2 weeks notice if she's doing things he didn't like or not able to listen and stuff. We not attracted to or secure if we can feel and sense that you just been depositing and you're trying to shake that off, but we're already here and you're still trying to shake that off. Have it shaken off so that when we come in, we're both able to put our best foot forward, because I think there's nothing worse than a man who is not ready and thinks he is and involves himself with a virtuous woman. That's very toxic, and it's very harmful, and it's dangerous to her character and the preservation that God has already put on her. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's how you are, but I'm just saying that's how it goes.
No, but let me add to that again. Like, again, I keep telling you, you stand in a small circle of women. That's not the common woman. You see what I'm saying? I tell you these things because it's not just to compliment or boost your ego. It's a small circle of you who are like that. Again, I would argue that a man would more so maybe like a virgin. There's not a lot of women. We're not talking about you. There's not a lot of women that want a virgin man. In order for me to get with a particular woman, there has to be experiences had, to where I cannot just sit there and say, all right, I'm going to wait for the perfect woman and not know and not do anything. And then think once I find her, I have the elegance, the confidence, the demeanor, the engagement to be able to keep her. Again, you're talking about a small, because everything you said was right. I'm not disputing anything you said. That's right. And that's beautiful to have. But we don't live in that day and age to where most women don't want a guy who doesn't know how to please them in the bedroom. They want
That's
you to
not what
already.
I'm saying. I'm saying
No. I'm
recognize
going off an example. Just follow me. Just follow me. They don't want a man who doesn't know how to please them in the bedroom. They don't want a man who's not confident. They don't want a man who doesn't know how to talk to a woman or deal with a woman or be with a woman physically and or spiritually or mentally. In order for me to be that man and that husband, I have to go out there and have those experiences to where you already have your value. You could be 18 years old and be invited onto a yacht party with millionaires and haven't done anything. You could just be you as a woman. Me, I have to go out there, do those things, make those sacrifices in order to get that yacht to be there. Again, I'm not refuting anything you say, and I'm not just talking about sex and sexually, but there's a lot of things besides that that women look for. Men have to go out there and experience and do that because, again, you're talking about a different type of women. Those aren't a lot of those women out there. So sometimes you have to give people a chance to see, okay, what is it about? But I told you, you walk differently, you think differently. And because of your heart, I know you think like there's a lot more people out there and you would like there to be a lot more people out there, but nobody is trying to do that. Everybody's like, well, what I do work and this was going to happen. But again, in order for that to happen, I just feel men have to go through a little bit more to where they can put themselves up to that standard instead of just waking up and say, oh, well, I'm not going to deal with her. I'm gonna just wait for her. Like he has to has experience. I guarantee you a man, and when I say virgin, it just means like he hasn't had any experience with women. A man who's a virgin has probably dated like one female. He's not going to have a lot of luck of finding his wife. Why? Because he doesn't know how to look for certain things. He doesn't know how to talk to a woman. He doesn't know how to approach different women. He doesn't know how to bob and weave when he needs to, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't know how to have those full communications to where, again, as a woman, you're already born with your value. Men are going to want you regardless. You can have one lazy eye and a busted lip right here and go out there. You might not look how you look. There's going to be men that are going to want to sleep with you. You could be a 4 out of 10 and heavy set. There's going to be a guy
I
that wants
cannot
to
with
be,
you.
but I cannot be 350 pounds with a lazy eye, a busted lip, my nose turned sideways, and think that I'm going
And
to just
broke.
and broke and just think I'm going to be able to go and get a woman of my dreams or think that's going to happen. That's just not how it works. That's why as little kids, you kind of give the boy more free range because a guy, he has to make certain things happen. So
That's
he's going to have to make certain decisions to whereas a woman could just be somewhere and things are going to happen. She came here for a drink. She left with 10, 15 numbers. Me as a guy, I might have to talk to 10, 15 girls just to get 1 or 2 numbers. You could come in, not say anything and leave with 10 or 15, meaning your options are more variety of a range, meaning that your choices are way more delicate and important than the guys is because we see things differently. In order for me to get what I want, I kind of have to go and get it. A lot of women, they don't have to do that. They can walk into a room, open their legs. There's going to be a guy who's going to jump over the mountain just to get with her. And that's the difference. But again, you're so humble and kind-hearted and walk on this path to where I know what you see and I know what you feel and I know the things that I tell you, it makes you sad. And it's just like the world can't be like this, but it's reality. You are not the same like these other women. You might even know some, but you're still a minority on a large spectrum. You have women who think like you possibly, but they will hang around women who do all the wrong stuff to where it's like, okay, well, I don't know because she's your girl and you're supporting her what she does, but you're saying this. So it's like, how do you pick between a flock that all hangs together? So I have to have those experiences to go and pick. You as a woman, you just have to be smart enough to pick the right one. I have to go through a lot full to find a Janae. I'm not just going to walk out and find a Janae. She's not just there. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
that's why the Bible said, "Who can find her? Who can find the virtuous woman?" Who?
And how do
Because
you
we're not
find
in those
something?
places where the ratchet. You're not gonna find us in like a tip. It's not. You got to be doing what you need to be doing in order to cross the path across. And to
Exactly.
your point, you're right. Like I want a man who has experiences, in all these areas. But what I'm suggesting is that when he finds her, because there's an inner knowing.
Yeah.
That's why, it's a wife.
Yep.
She's born. She's not like, she doesn't turn into a wife. There are
Yeah,
certain character
exactly.
traits, you know, she's either a wife, a
Exactly.
girlfriend, a friend, a hoe, whatever. This is already born inside of her and how she's been developed since childhood.
Mhm.
So, you know, when he
That's
finds
no.
her, you should start making the necessary moves to shake off those things, is what I'm
Agreed.
saying, before
Agreed.
approaching her. Before approaching her. Do not even come into her vibration. We can sense, smell, feel all of that. Don't come
You
over
think
here
so?
with it until you're done with whatever you're doing, is what I'm
Again,
suggesting.
maybe you can. Again,
The
you
virtuous
walk in a
ones, we
different.
can.
Again, you
And
can.
God
But I
shows us
will.
too. He give us visions like about what you're doing, what you will do, you know, all of that. Like like we get to see it, you know. So it's very hurtful, is what I'm saying, when they try to like bring that in with them, as
Can
if
I
you
say?
don't
Can I?
know.
Is it safe to say that I've probably dealt with more women than you have men? Is that safe
That's
to
good.
say?
I don't want what you got.
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is what you're saying and asking for. That shit is not just like out there. Like I could be whatchamacallit, I could be celibate for 3 months, 4 months. I could not be dealing with any chicks. I could go out there. I'm not just gonna find a Janae Charlene Hellum that thinks like that. Women don't even, they cringe when you use the word submission. That's not today's world. So maybe your circle of friends might be like that. And I know it's very seldom, but we got to take the perspective of 9 billion people in there.
They are
Even,
like one of them with the same dude since forever, and she's been with. He's the only guy, you know, and
Mhm,
she's older than me. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying?
Did you ever ask how many women he's been with?
I would never ask her if she even knew that, because he's the only man in her life since forever, and she's older than me. I would never
Yeah,
ask her that, because I don't want her mind to try to like go there. Like,
absolutely.
no,
Absolutely. But I guarantee you, he's
she's
been
not the
with.
only woman. I understand
Of
that.
course not. He's been with a number of women because you have, to deal with women is very tricky. You have to build up a certain level of confidence because a woman can be, I don't told a woman she looked good right there. A woman can make a man feel small. Like I'm talking about a 6'5" man small just by her words, her rolling her eyes. Women are very powerful, right? But I feel some of their powers they've laid it to a side as far as women are nurturers. I believe you could turn a bum into a king. A lot of the values and things and the powers that they have and stuff, they've put that to the side just for their own immediate needs. But I'm willing to bet that man has been with a good amount enough of women to he knows when he found her, all right, I don't need that anymore. Men
That's what I'm
don't
saying.
necessarily,
That's the part I'm talking about. That
yeah,
when
but
you find her, let
yeah.
that go. Don't bring her into you. You found her,
Oh
and
no, we
you're not trying
agree.
to let go of that yet.
Yeah, we agree. We agree. If I found the right woman who met all those qualifications and things like that, I don't need to still be out there and doing those things. We agree on that 100%. But I thought you were saying like he should already be like not doing those
No,
things
I don't
first
want that.
before.
I don't want that. I ain't
Okay,
gonna be happy
so
with
we're
that.
on the
I'm gonna
same
be
page.
bored. I want to be able to be led by him, like, because I am submissive,
Absolutely,
right? So I want to be
we're
able
on
to
the
be
same
led
page.
by him. I want to have a
Yep,
certain respect for him. I want to
yep,
be able to learn from him, you
yep,
know, stuff like that. And that's only gonna come with him having a certain number of
yep.
experiences. I just don't want to sense his connection and soul ties with other women, and doesn't have
Oh yeah,
and we
yeah,
can
yeah,
sense all of that if he don't let
yeah,
go of that before
yeah.
coming into my life and stuff like
You're
that. So
100% correct. You're 100. I mean, we're not disagreeing at all. We ain't disagreeing at all. I agree 100%. So
exactly,
we're on the same page. So
exactly.
that's why I like talking to you because I try to tell you these things, or because like if you tell another girl these kind of things, they'll get offended to where it's not even like to offend a woman. It's kind of like putting her up on game. It's more so like giving her an insight on how men think. So it's like if you do these things as a man, I'm telling you what we think, what could possibly happen, and what's more than likely to happen. It's not me telling you, no, you shouldn't do that because it's wrong. It's not about right or wrong. Everybody's going to make their own decision. But if you make this decision, this is possibly what's going to happen. And because we look at the minority, or we look at small examples of thinking that it happened, it does not quantify it to become the norm. It's rare. So if you find something that's rare, it does not mean it's normal. That means it's hard to find. That means it's not of normality. But of normality is, again, guys see visual, they understand that, you could have 10 businesses, do all this stuff, yada yada yada, like that's cool, but deep and down, they don't really care like that because, again, men and women want two different things. When they see you, they're not really looking for you for your money or what kind of business she does or if she has 3 degrees. Those things don't really drive us. That's not what we look for. To where as a woman, she might be more turned on to a guy who has like 3, 4 businesses. He has 2, 3 degrees and all that
You
stuff.
guys, when he says men, he's not talking about adult males. He's talking about men. Adult males will be looking for like a woman who will take care of them and, all these other things. He's talking about men.
Yeah, then men, exactly. And again, like I said, there are males who will look at a woman and try to come up with what she has. I'm
Right.
not they will do that, but so I said
You're
men.
talking about men.
Yes, most men, and I hope you're not dealing with
I
those.
just
But
wanted to make that distinction for the audience
yes,
so that they're
yeah,
not applying what we're speaking on to
exactly.
every person that has, X, Y.
Exactly, because it's very, like you said, it's very important, man. Because like I said, time is coming to an end. Everybody's getting older. You're not going backwards. It's time to start like um taking things that we find important and really trying to focus on it and think about it like, okay, does this make much sense for me? What is this going to lead to in the past? Because again, time is of the essence, and we have to all start making decisions, and not just decisions but better decisions for ourselves. So I don't think we disagreed really on anything. I think we both just gave each other more insight on stuff. You know
This
what
is
I'm
how
saying?
our conversations go
Yeah,
all the time. So.
absolutely. I'm loving this too. Thank you again for inviting me to your platform.
Oh, thank you for having the time and creating, a time to come visit
Absolutely.
with us. I hope that you'll come back again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just want to ask you one thing before we go. Will you
Yeah.
share with everyone else how they can support you, follow you, find you?
Okay. So I don't know if you have like a page or anything for like, I mean, I know you got pages and stuff. Just direct me. I can drop my link. The problem is when you have a name like Houston, there's so many other people with the name Houston.
That's
And
true.
a lot of the stuff that I use is common things. So like when I say Houston, we have a problem, they automatically think it's something to do with Apollo or spaceships and things like that. So the biggest thing I can do is if you go on Apple and you type in Houston Brocco, there's not too many of that. If you type in Houston Brocco, Brocco, my mixtape cover will come up and it'll be me blasting off. And then from there, you could click on that and go to my other songs. So I am on Apple. I don't suggest you trying to find me on YouTube because it will take you forever. Go to Apple, type in Houston Brocco. Spotify, I'm on Tidal. With my label, we're working on my singles, albums. I've been blessed to meet a lot of good, great artists that I never thought were even out there. I'm on Facebook, Houston, Yanaton Houston, Yanaton Houston. You'll see me in all white and a gold beanie. I'm also on Instagram, Houston_PTMG. That will also lead you to a link to all of my music and stuff. So I'm just growing, guys. Like I said, I'm not a big media person, but this is what you have to do. You got to put yourself out there. You got to take pictures. I mean, the camera loves me. I'm just not big on it, but that's what I'm working on. If anybody wants to collab or if anybody wants me to be on their podcast or talk or anything like that, I'm more than open to it. I appreciate Janae, Charlene, Helen for having me. This is like my spiritual wife, right here. I hope that you guys will all support her. She's not just a pretty face. She does a lot of different things. And yeah, so again, I appreciate you for having me. And it's nothing but love for you and the family and me, of course. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And I'll make sure I drop all of the information you shared and how to reach you in the description. And
Yeah.
again, I just really appreciate your time, all the kind things that you said about me, and really just with my audience, just imparting some knowledge from a man's perspective on how to attract a quality husband. Because you can get married to anybody, it doesn't make them a husband, right?
Yep.
I was having a conversation with a pastor
Mm-hmm.
who was actually my guest earlier today, and we didn't have this conversation on the show, but he was like, it's a woman, a wife, who makes the man a man. A man is not fully a man until he has his wife, and then a man who has his wife is not fully a man unless he is providing for her. He said it is you guys who create the man and the family and that whole dynamic, because it was just Adam. He was in the garden. He had his work, but God said, "Hey, look, you're not complete. You're here and you have your work, but you are not complete. let me
Yep.
help you be whole by
Yep.
giving you this rib, your
Yep.
wife.
And then
So
let me give one more piece of advice too. Money is very important. A man that can provide does not mean that he's rich. A man could have $1 million and give you $10 or $100. A man could have $5. And if he loves you and you ask for it, he'll give you that $5. So who gave you more? The millionaire who gave you $100? Or who gave you everything? The guy who had $1 million and gave you $10 or $100? Or the guy who had $5 and gave you his last $5? Women, you can turn men into kings. You can pick a bum up off the street. I am telling you, if you love him and you respect him, you
you can
don't
turn
have
clowns
to.
into kings too, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah,
you do that.
if you don't have to do anything for him. But if you make him believe and think that he is the best man on this planet for you through the respect and the love that you give, if he feels he is your rock, he's your utmost anything, I'm telling you, the world will be yours. He will run through a wall for you. Okay?
Yes. Thank you so much for, the show is just all about using what we have to elevate our
Yes.
own vibrations and catch
Yes.
like a contagion to raise the vibration of the world. So, if that starts with the family, thank you so
Yes.
much for helping to just raise the mindset of the
Yeah.
men and women who are going to
Yeah.
see this show. So
Absolutely.
grateful to have you. Can't wait till
Thank
you come back again. Tell
I
your
appreciate
family
it.
and everyone that Emmy and I said hello, and we're
I
sending all of
absolutely
our
will.
love. And everyone, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on another Creative Chat.
Bye.